Now before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now let's dive in with this video.
In this lesson, we're talking about linking. Linking refers to how sounds flow together between words in spoken English. Spoken English is very different from written English. In written English, there's very clear, distinct white spaces between each word. But if you talk like there are white spaces between each word, you sound choppy and you don't have that natural fluency and flow that you're striving for. The good news is there are patterns as to how sounds join together between words in spoken English. So understanding the patterns of linking is all about knowing what type of sound one word ends in and what type of sound the next word starts with. Today we're going to talk about 3 of those patterns and go over lots of examples together. We'll talk about linking consonants to vowels, vowels to vowels, and consonants to consonants. Understanding how sounds flow together will help you immensely when trying to understand native English speakers. And if you use linking in your own spoken English, it will definitely help you sound more fluent and natural. Before we get started, I want to point out that linking is not about speaking fast and smushing all your words together. Now, while there are native speakers that definitely speak this way, they're hard to understand for you and me both. And this is not the goal. Linking is really all about understanding how the sounds flow from one word to the next and realizing how it impacts the rhythm and music of the language. We can use linking to create a fluent rhythm and flow while still using a clear and controlled speaking rate. All right, so let's dive in. Let's talk first about linking consonant sounds to vowel sounds. This is my favorite type of linking, and if you're going to focus on practicing any of these particular patterns, this would be the one I would focus on because it's most apparent in your connected speech when you're not connecting your consonants to your vowels. So when one word ends in a consonant sound and the next word begins with a vowel sound, that ending consonant jumps on over right in front of the vowel sound in the following word. Here's some examples. Does it. Does it becomes does it. Does it. That ending z sound at the end of does jumps on over in front of the I and it. So it sounds like zit. Does it. Does it. Make a. Make a becomes make a. Make a. With that final k in make jumping over in front of the word a. Make a. Make a. Does it make a? Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference? I think it does. I think it does. All right, try this one. Kind of. Kind of becomes kind of. That final d linking over in front of the word of. Kind of. Kind of. Like it becomes like it. Like it. Again, that final K sound linking over in front of the I in it. Like it. Like it. Kind of like it. Kind of like it. I kinda like it. Notice also in that sentence how the word of is reducing to just the schwa. Kinda. I kinda like it. I kinda like it. Okay, takes a becomes takes a. Takes a. Again, that final s sound at the end of takes, linking over in front of the word a. Takes a. Takes a. Lot of. Lot of becomes lot of. Lot of. That final T is turning into a flap T, or the sound, because it's between two vowels. Lot of. And it's linking over in front of the in of. Lot of. Takes a lot of. Now, in connected speech, again, that word of is going to reduce down to the schwa when it comes before a word that starts with a consonant. So listen close. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice. Nice. Try this one. Hold on. Hold on becomes hold on. Hold on. Again, that final D in hold, jumping over in front of the word on, making it sound like dawn. Hold on. Hold on. On a becomes on a. On a. That final N in the word on, linking over in front of the on a. Hold on a. Hold on. Can you hold on a minute? Can you hold on a minute? All right, moving on. Let's talk about linking vowels to vowels. When one word ends in a vowel sound and the next word begins with a vowel sound, we're going to glide from word to word using a w or y sound. Try this example. Go over becomes go over. Go over. We're gliding between those two vowel sounds with a soft w. Go over. Go over. The options. The options becomes the options. The options. Again, we're gliding between those vowel sounds using a y sound. Go over the options. Go over the options. Let's go over the options. Let's go over the options. So how are you going to know if you're gliding with a w or a y sound? It's really all about the shape the mouth is taking and what's most natural. The w sound is a lip rounding sound. So when you're moving from a lip rounding vowel to another vowel, you're going to glide with the w sound. There's 3 vowel sounds that are lip rounders that you'll hear at the end of words. And these are O as in no, oo as in new, and ow as in now. So when words end with one of these 3 lip rounding vowel sounds, you're going to glide with a w, because that's what's easiest and most natural. It makes sense to say now I, but to say now yai, that just feels weird and it sounds funny. So let's try a few more examples. They offered. They offered becomes they offered. They offered. We're gliding from that final A vowel sound into the ah with a y. They offered. They offered. Buy it. Buy it becomes buy it. Buy it. We're gliding from that final I vowel sound in buy over to the I in it with a gentle y. Buy it. They offered. Buy it. They offered. Buy it. They offered to buy it. They offered to buy it. Now you want to make sure this is a gentle glide. It's not they offered to buy it, unless maybe you're striving for that southern accent. It's just a subtle glide. They offered to buy it. Here's another one. No if. No if becomes no if.
Now before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now let's dive in with this video.
No if. We're gliding from that final O in no into the I in if. No if with a gentle W sound. Show up becomes show up. Show up. Again, gliding from that final O sound in show into the in up with a gentle W. Show up. Know if, show up. Know if, show up. I didn't know if you'd show up. I didn't know if you'd show up. Another example. So I becomes so I. So I. And stay in becomes stay in. Stay in. Again, that final A in stay linking over in front of the I and in with a gentle ya. Stay in. So I stay in. So I stay in. I'm tired, so I decided to stay in. I'm tired, so I decided to stay in. Awesome practice. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about linking consonants to consonants. When a word ends in a consonant sound and the next word starts with that same consonant, you want to keep the airflow going from the ending consonant sound into the beginning of the next one. So the sound's flowing from one word to the next and it's continuous and unbroken. So for example, feel like. Instead of feel like, you're going to keep that L going from the end of feel into like. Feel like. Feel like. Some more becomes some more. Some more. We're holding that M at the end of some and continuing it on into the beginning of more. Some more. Feel like some more. Feel like some more. I feel like I need some more coffee. I feel like I need some more coffee. Both things. Both things becomes both things. That ending TH, I'm just holding that sound and releasing it into the next word. Both things. Both things. This Saturday, instead of this Saturday, comes this Saturday. That final S sound at the end of this is continuing on into the word Saturday. This Saturday. This Saturday. Both things this Saturday. It's important to grasp the idea that the sound continues on. You're not just saying it once because it's not both things this Saturday. Both things this Saturday. You're keeping that airflow going between the words. Both things this Saturday. We scheduled both things for this Saturday. We scheduled both things for this Saturday. This also works for similar consonant sounds, for sister sounds or cognates that are made at the same place in the mouth. So for example, the S and Z sounds. These sounds are sister sounds. They're both made the same way, with the tongue tip up behind the top front teeth, pointing towards the alveolar ridge. They have the same place of articulation. He's so becomes he's so. He's so. She's single becomes she's single. She's single. He's so, she's single. He's so happy she's single. He's so happy she's single. Another example, the V sound and F sounds, both made with the top teeth resting against the bottom lip. V, f. So have fun becomes have fun. Have fun. I hope you have fun. I hope you have fun. Love for becomes love for. Notice how that word for reduces to fur. Love for. We'd love for you to stay. We'd love for you to stay. Also our voiced and voiceless TH sounds. So with that becomes with that. With that. Can I help you with that? Can I help you with that? Worth the. Worth the becomes worth the. Worth the. Worth the trouble. I'm not sure it was worth the trouble. I'm not sure it was worth the trouble. All right, last but not least, let's talk about linking stop consonants to other consonants. So in all of our previous examples talking about linking consonants to consonants, we were using what's called continuous consonant sounds. These sounds like ol, s, z, v, can all be made as long as you have breath in your lungs. You can keep going with these sounds. They are continuous. This is different from a stop consonant sound. With a stop consonant, the air comes up from your lungs into the mouth, then it's stopped in the mouth, either by the lips coming together, the tongue going up behind the top front teeth to the alveolar ridge, or the back of the tongue coming up to the soft palate, and then the air is released. The good news is there's only 6 stop consonant sounds in the English language. They are p and b, both made by bringing the lips together, t and d, both made with the tip of the tongue tapping the alveolar ridge behind the top front teeth, and k and g, both made by bringing the back of the tongue up to the soft palate. So again, our 6 stop consonants are p, b, t, d, k, and g. Linking works a little differently when we're working with stop consonants. When a word ends in a stop consonant sound and the next word starts with another consonant, you're going to hold the stop. You're not going to release the air. You're going to hold the mouth or tongue position and go directly into the next sound at the start of the next word. So let me show you what I mean. This is easier when you're going from a stop consonant to the same or similar stop consonant at the beginning of the next word. So for example, what time? Instead of releasing that final T at the end of what time becomes what time. What time. I'm holding that tongue up in the position for the final T and just releasing it into the beginning T at the next word. What time. What time is it? What time is it? Again, this works if we're talking about similar consonants as well, sounds that are made at the same place in the mouth. So that day, instead of that day with a released T at the end of that, becomes that day. That day. Again, the tongue goes up behind the teeth to the alveolar ridge for that final T, and then just releases into the beginning D for day. That day. I think I'm busy that day. I think I'm busy that day. Time. Instead of releasing that D at the end of good and saying good time, we're going to hold that D. We're going to hold the position for the D and go straight into the T. Good time. Good time. Have a good time. I hope you have a good time. I hope you have a good time. Another example with the G sound, big game. Instead of releasing that G, big game becomes big game, big game. The back of the tongue is coming up for the final G at the end of big and then releasing into game, big game. It's a big game. It's a really big game. It's a really big game. Again, this works for the sister or cognate sound, the k, which is made at the same place in the mouth. So big company, big company, big, holding that tongue up for the final G in big and releasing into the k sound for company, big company, big company. It's a pretty big company. It's a pretty big company.